Okay, so this is just a video where what I'm going to be doing is just showing you how to create a light version of Windows 11 with the MSMG Toolkit. And to get hold of the toolkit, you can just go to this website, which is msmgtoolkit.in and downloads.html. And then when you click on download, it takes you to this server, which is download.ru. So hopefully you're not, you're not one of the developers of Composer, where you're supporting Ukraine, and then somehow the script can find out, because obviously people are wary of any kind of .ru domains at the moment. So once you've downloaded this toolkit and then uncompressed it, you'll then end up with this MSMG directory where you'll have the files. And so these are the files, and what you do is you have to get the Windows 11 ISO, and that, well, anyone should know how to get that, because Microsoft's site is obviously the first thing that comes up for the download. And so I've downloaded that, and that's here. So what you have to do is, in this directory, which is called DVD, okay, actually this is some. These are the old, yes, that's from the old. So what I have to do is, this is from a DVD I did previously. So I just got to clean that out. So now all you have to do is, if you're on Windows, I think Windows 7 and above does this, if I remember correctly, or even Vista, although Vista obviously doesn't work with this. So these are the files in the DVD, and if you double click on it, they mount. And so if you just select everything, and then copy them into this DVD directory. Alright, so that's all copied in. So we can now mount this. Reject it. Right, so now that we have those files in there, we just go back into the MSMG is not the name of, that's just whatever name you want to give the extracted directory. So then now all we have to do is double click on start. And then they haven't paid their grands for the certificate, so you have to just click yes on the yellow warning. And so obviously you have to accept this. And so this version here, this is just the version of the OS I'm installing it from. So the first thing you do is select the source. So we go 1, and then the one we want is from DVD. So we press 1. So it'll just read the, and so the one I want is Windows 11 Pro. But admittedly, I'd also want Windows 11 Home. The reason I'm saying this is because there's a lot of laptops now come with Windows 11 Home. So if you want to do a reinstall, then it's convenient to have both of them on the one DVD. So I'm going to do 1,6. I don't know what Pro for Workstations is, but I presume there's just some game stuff is missing, but I'll just take these two for now. I'll just do yes for each of these. Right, so now it's just going to go through and just mount the images. Okay, so that's finished, and so now the next thing Next option you get is number 2, which is integrate, but don't usually try and integrate anything because Microsoft comes up with updates so quickly. Whatever you integrate is going to be out of date within like a month usually, or 2 months. So it's usually easier just not to bother, and unless you're using it in a place with a bad internet connection. So now we go to 3 for remove, and so we want 1, which is remove Windows components. So the first one we want to do is 1, which is to select which ones you want. So number 1 is internet. And as per usual, we always get rid of Edge, because that's what everyone wants to do that. But we have to keep Internet Explorer around because Microsoft are such bad programmers that they don't know how to uncouple things properly. So you don't want to break the system by removing it. And number 2, we go for next, which is multimedia. And so of course the annoying animation you want to get rid of. And yeah, we don't need any games because games are a waste of time. Lock screen background is annoying, so C, get rid of that. And screensavers, I don't know, sound themes, yeah, they're probably annoying. And then if you get rid of speech recognition for G, because that's all spyware stuff anyway. And yeah, the wallpapers, some of them are annoying, so just get rid of them. And Windows Media Player is pretty useless because it's just some spyware with not enough codecs. And Windows System Assessment, so M, that's just going to be more just spying on you to pretend they're helping you. So those are the ones I'm going to select and just do X to go back. And then number 3 now is this network, so that's going to include some spying stuff because they use a network. Well, I shouldn't really say that because these are actually proper network actually. So offline files is good. Open SSH, remote this. Yeah, Windows Mail comes in handy. So actually, it looks like I was wrong there. It's not network. These are proper network components, not the spy ones. So yeah, 4, privacy. So now they call it privacy, but now they're going to be spying on you. So signed access, I don't know what that is. Customer experience improvement, so they spy on you so they can get more money and say they're improving it. So get rid of that. Face recognition, they want to get a copy of your face so they can spy on you again. So C has to go. Now they should debug the kernel themselves, not ask you to do it. So we get rid of D. And E, of course, is for location service, so that's to spy on you for sure. Picture password, so F, so that they know what pictures you like, so more spying. And pin sign in makes no sense. And then unified spy client, well, Asimov is a Russian name, isn't it? So H, we'll get rid of that. Wi-Fi network, that's going to have some spying in it. And Windows error reporting, yeah, so they just want spy information and then they don't fix the problems anyway. And of course, Windows Insider Spy, so we don't want K either. So we just got rid of all of that. Should have just pressed 1 actually. It would have saved a bit of time. So if you go to X, and so now we want remoting. So that might have some useful stuff in it. So I don't know what multi-point is. That doesn't seem to make sense. So 2, get rid of that. OneDrive is obviously annoying, so get rid of that. So remote assistance is good because you could use that to help other people. Same with the remote desktop. Remote registry can come in handy if someone's machine's got a problem. Work folders, yeah, that might be good. So we'll leave those. And so X to go back. So that's remoting. So next we've got system, which will have a lot. So that's 6. And so accessibility, yeah, that's for disabled people. So we just have to leave that in. Device lockdown, that's just, I bet you won't get rid of the spyware, so what's the point of that? So leave all the accessibility and easy transfers. Yeah, file history is backup. So leave all, I think manual setup is annoying, I think, if I remember. So get rid of that for I. Notepad on screen, projected file system sounds like a waste of time. Yeah, keep the security center because Windows Defender is a free antivirus, so you might as well keep that. Okay, storage spaces, no one seems to care about that. Yeah, you want to keep system restore in case your system crashes, and the backup firewall and the subsystem, and I think Windows 2 Go is to do with booting from a USB, so that can all come in handy. So if you do X to go back, and then now we've got system apps, 7. So that's a bit long, so all we have to do is stretch this down a bit. Okay, so there's a load of stuff on here. Yeah, so we've got to keep the Windows Store stuff because some applications that actually you need are only in the store now. So you have to be careful of that. So I'm just going to go through and get rid of the ones which just look like they're a waste of time. Yeah, open with dialog. The modern one is annoying because it's got less options on it. Obviously, maps is to do with spying, so. Yeah, so obviously they want to get your fingerprints for more spying, so forget that. And your face, obviously. Definitely get rid of 11, because that's definitely going to be spyware. Just do with ads, isn't it? So you have to get rid of that. Well, 13 is Windows Hello, so anything with a weird name you get rid of. Yeah, so 14, that's like nonsense. Of course, anything to do with Edge, you get rid of that. I think Modern File Explorer is annoying. I might as well keep it in case. Well, Modern File Explorer, I think it's annoying. So let's see what happens if you get rid of it. See if it breaks the system. You want to get rid of the lock app 19 because that just puts annoying stuff on the lock screen, which you don't want. I don't know what map control is, but maps are used for spying, so. Let's get rid of 23 and 24. Parental control, some people might want that. So 26 people hub, that's obviously going to be annoying. Yeah, obviously 31 retail demo, you want to get rid of that. And 34, you don't want to sync anything using Microsoft. And since 35 is Skype, you definitely want to get rid of it. Smart screen, That's annoying. Because it stops you running any useful utilities. And webcam experience makes no sense. So we keep, so Windows Defender better keep that. So mixed reality sounds like it's nonsense. And Windows Reader's gone. So you keep Windows Store, and of course get rid of all the Xbox stuff, because you know Xbox is a waste of time. I don't know what this XGPU stuff is, because right, so those are the ones I'll leave. This is probably going to be the longest. No, actually, this is system apps. Yeah, the next one's long as well. So do X to go back, and this 8 is going to be tedious as well. So we just have to work our way through. Okay, let's have a look. Get rid of feedback hub, number 8. That's a waste of time. Yeah, we don't need films or TV, because we know films and TV is all rubbish. So all the gaming stuff's gone. I want to keep VP9 because that's used for WebRTC. So 16, get rid of media player because it's always been rubbish. 17, my office, that makes no sense. And of course, news is just all their news. They don't give you important news, just their news. So that's a waste of time. And phone link doesn't make no sense. And Power Automate Desktop, well, just install it if you need it. Screen sketches, alright, because that could come. Store experience host, yeah, leave that. Terminal, yeah, the tips is going to be annoying because it's just telling you nothing useful. And to do, you can just get a decent application from somewhere else. Obviously, weather's annoying because it spies on you by working out your location. And yeah, 38, get rid of that. Windows news and interest, so they want to get your interest to spy on you. So might as well keep Windows Mail, Windows Store. All the Xbox stuff is gone, which is good. So yeah, so that should be it. So now if you go to do X to go back, and now here's something that in relation to the previous when I did Windows 10, I just want to check something, because this is something which you should check depending on what you're going to use the DVD for. So if you go back to where the DVD is, we can see all the files are there like normal. So now there's a reason why I want to check that, because so if we go here, because now we finished with this, so now we have to X to go back, and now we want to start removing Windows components. So you press number 2, and so then now it's going to go through the process, and because I've selected 2 indexes, it's going to actually take twice as long as usual for if you only did 1 index. But I did want to have the home as well as the pro versions. Okay, so that's finished doing the removal for both indexes 1 and 6. And so now if you press any key, and so because we finished the selecting and start, we do X to go back. And so we don't have a apps list or a package list. So what we do is we just do X to go back. And so now, normally you go to apply, but I just want to check something, which is, I'm going to go to number 4. And right, so the next thing we want to do is to apply the tweaks. So if you just press 8, and this is a bit long as well. So what we want to do is get rid of because you don't want to do all tweets, because what that does is, because as far as I know, you can't reverse it. So if you do all of them, it'll end up getting rid of your task view icon, which doesn't really help. So so we just have to go through manual and disable each one. So obviously anything which is automatic, you don't want that, because then that's just Microsoft showing you who's boss, which isn't them. So we do A, B, C, and D, for sure. And D. And so we're going to get rid of Cortana because she's just a spy. Oh, it's not she's, a it, really. And so Microsoft Reserve, so let's do F, get rid of that. Oh yeah, now the important one is G, to disable Windows 11 installer hardware check, because you've got your machine with your 24 core motherboard, or a 32 core motherboard, and your 8 gig graphics card. And just because it's TPM 1.2, Microsoft is telling you that it can't run Windows 11, which is a complete lie. So G has to be done. So we need to get rid of Microsoft's lie so that we can install it on an old machine which can run it at super speed. Because I haven't got any TPM on this board, and this is like a 7 series, and you're telling me it can't run Windows 11. And so we want to keep Windows Defender because that's a free antivirus, and Windows Firewall, but we get rid of Smart Screen because that just blocks decent utilities, so it's a waste of time. And keep Windows Update, obviously, and then you want L, which is the Windows image cleanup with full reset base. And, MP3, lots of people use MP3s, because obviously Microsoft doesn't want to pay them, even though they got so much money. We want Windows Classic Content. We want that, because what it does, if the Windows Classic one's context means that you get all the entries, so that's N. Oh, actually, I think I've lost the... Oh yeah, hold on. Sometimes I lose the keyboard. So you want the classic context menus, because the Windows 11 one, it hides the entries, which is annoying. And we want Windows local account, so I'm not sure why. Local account, obviously, I'm not sure why they're saying that could be disabled. And so get rid of R, so chat icon, because that's just an annoyance. And obviously Cortana, so get rid of S, because that's another annoyance. And obviously meet now, you don't need Microsoft to know when you're meeting. And of course U for news and interests, so they'll tell you their news and what you're supposed to believe. And alright, so you want hide taskbar search bar, you want that task view, and then you should keep the widgets icon as well. At least I think you should. It's probably best to keep that, because I'm not sure what it is. No, I think you don't need the widgets icon, if I remember correctly. Let's get rid of that, because it seems pointless. Alright, so that's it. So now we just 2 to go back, and then X to go back again. And so So now the next thing you want to do is to apply it. So if you go to 5, right, so now here's the thing is that, see, there's an option clean up source images, and as far as I know, what that does is it actually deletes files from your source images. So that's in here, and it's already deleted it. Okay, yeah, what it is, okay. That's interesting. Okay, for some reason it's yeah, the setup. Alright, you know, because what it is, there's normally a setup file here which you use for upgrading, but for some reason it's deleted it. So alright, so I'll have to continue anyway. Alright, so let's just press 1 anyway since it's already gone. Okay, so now we want to go to 2, which is apply and save changes to source images. Yeah, so this just gets rid of the ones that we didn't select, so you don't get the long list. So do yes, and yes to clean up as well. Okay, so that's finished. So if you press any key, and so now that's been applied. So now what we need to do is just to create the DVD image. So if you press 6, we want to make a DVD ISO image. So just the volume label, just what comes up when you put the DVD in. And this is the name of the actual ISO file. And you don't need to put the ISO at the end because it will do that for you. Okay, so that's it. So now we have the final image file. So now I just want to check something because, right, so I want to see if it's possible to save the settings. So let me just see. Alright, okay, so once you actually do that, it resets everything. Yeah, so that's one thing you have to watch out for, is that so all that effort you put in to do all those selections, it doesn't seem to be an easy way. It doesn't seem to be an easy way of actually saving the selections that you made. So yeah, so none of them is gonna. So essentially, what you do is you go through just once, and that's it. So I just want to check. Let's see if anything is. Yes. So anyway, so the ISO is in here. So this is what we've created. So, like I say, the when you actually look in it, so just mount it. So what it has is what's needed in order to boot the system. But you can't actually, as far as I can know, you can't use this to run setup. But Maybe you can. Oh, actually, yes, yeah, alright. That's not so bad. Maybe you can run setup. Let's see what it does. Alright, yes, this is a problem I had. So it doesn't. See, for whatever reason, because if we go to the original ISO, see, it's got the setup there. Yeah, see, there's setup. So these are all the files that normally would be used to run setup if you want to do an upgrade. So essentially, the problem that we have with this DVD is that, see, all of this here has been stripped out. Because normally there's files in here, and these are the ones which are used to run setup. So all they've essentially done is stripped it out, so that you can only use this to boot the installer. So what I'm going to have to do is to work out how to create a disk you can actually use to run setup to do an upgrade. I'm going to have to do a bit of research to see if I can find out which options removes the setup files, because I know it does, because I've managed to make one for Windows 10 where the setup is here, but there's certain option that you just mustn't run to, or you mustn't use in order for the setup files to still be here. So if I manage to find anything about that, I'll just do another video relating to that. But thanks for watching this one, and see you in the next one.